Hi, we're just going to go through walkthrough of the SIL workforce training for the new 2026 practice standards. So for teams over 10, you can buy it for $35 for your team. You can buy 200, you can buy 100, you can buy 10. If you're an individual worker, it's $99 for one. Super easy. Just click to add to cart and you can rack up the numbers on the right-hand side to suit. So basically 10 licenses, 346, 50 licenses, 1,700. You can get access for your learning management system or SCORM files. So we're just going to roll through. If you have a look, we've got supported decision-making foundation, supported decision-making refresher, de-escalation techniques. We've got trauma-informed practice with a whole heap of stuff. I will go back through these in a minute. I'm just going to show you what you get. You've got safeguarding in shared living. You've got person-centered active supports. You've got cultural safety. You've got housemate matching. You've got emergency planning, tenancy rights, participant rights in the home, positive behaviour support. Note here, every SIL worker has to do or should be trained in positive behaviour support, regardless of if there's a behaviour support plan active on a participant in a SIL house. It doesn't matter. You're still under the new practice standards, need to be trained. Safe manual handling, mealtime management, and open disclosure. And then we've got some certificates of completion and some workplace observation checklists. I might go through the workplace observation checklist first. So there's two parts to this. First part is under the new practice standards in force now from July 1, you need to be able to show that your workers are competent in the 4 new modules. So competent means that they can pass a course or something like this. They can show that they have the knowledge. And then there's a observation or a workplace observation obligation from your end as well. So one thing is to get the knowledge and have a pass mark. You also need to have some evidence on your files that you have observed that the worker is competent. So in every one of these courses that you buy, whether it's $35 in bulk or it's a $99 one-off purchase, there is all these workplace observation evidence documents in here. So let's just pick one. We'll go for workplace observation de-escalation technique. On the right-hand side here, you've got, workplace observation checklist. We've got, recognises early signs of distress, knows when to disengage. There's all these things that you've observed or not observed. It's something you can keep in your files as you should. And then if we go to a different one down the bottom here, we'll go to just a pathway quick guide for the workplace observation evidence checklist. So if we open this one, have a bit of a look. Here's what you've got to do basically. So the worker completes the online module, number 1. Worker receives certificate of completion, i.e. they pass their 80% pass mark. They're awarded their certificate of completion. It's not easy to pass. You actually have to know the work to be able to pass. It's designed that way. So please don't think that this is a tick and flick course. It's not. You will actually have to know the work to be able to get through the 80%. So the provider checks if workplace observation is required. So in some modules, workplace observation is required, and in some it isn't. Your manager completes the observation. When I say manager, the way the code of practice and the practice standards for providers in the NDIS read in these cases most often is that some type of appropriately qualified or experienced staff member is allowed to do the observation checklist. So now what that means to you might be different for a super high complexity participant to a low complexity participant. The provider has to make that decision, but an appropriately qualified or experienced person needs to do the observations, and the manager records the evidence and outcome. There's coaching completed if required, because not everyone's going to pass these observations, obviously. You would have a reassessment if required, and the evidence is then stored. So that's the observation pathway. And then we've got a reassessment plan here, which I'll just open so you can have a quick look. So here's the coaching and reassessment plan. This is particular person, particular house, what you found in your observation, what they did well, what they didn't do well, what they could do better. You're going to make some notes here and you're going to store this in your files for later use to be audit ready. So that's the worker observation checklist stuff. You get a certificate of completion. So when you get your 80 pass mark, you have to complete 15 little quizzes basically inside each module. So each module you finish, there's a little quiz, and then there's an exam at the end that you have to pass 80%. To get your certificate of completion. And there's a little frequently asked questions here about how to get your certificate. If you haven't got your certificate, what have you got to do? How to reach out, how to check this, how to check that. But let's just jump into a couple of these. Let's go for the trauma-informed practice, and we'll go for understanding trauma responses. This will give you a bit of an idea of what the PDFs, what the training looks like. So this is the CO2 Lesson 3 PDF, Understanding Trauma Responses. Most of them designed like this. You've got quality indicators, rights-based support, Q1, 1 and 3, safeguarding training. So the learning objective here is by the end of this lesson, the learner will explain fight, flight and freeze trauma responses and apply a trauma-informed approach when these appear. In one sentence, this is about understanding trauma responses, a core trauma-informed practice applied in everyday interaction. Now, this should map to the documents that you have, and I don't know if you've got the new 5A 138 documents or not, but these trainings should map to the documents that you have. You can get the documents from us if you don't have them, which map to this training. But essentially, every module has X number of lessons. Every lesson has a PDF like this. It's designed for teaching people how to learn certain types of information. You can see here the learning objective, the in one sentence, the why this lesson matters, poor practice versus better practice, red flags, can do, must not do, escalate when, and a bit of a scenario. So all of the PDFs are structured like this. They're designed to impart the knowledge quickly and efficiently for people so that it doesn't take up enormous amounts of time. Let's go for communication that reduces re-traumatization. It's the same thing. If you have a look, we've got quality indicators, so rights-based support up the top here, safeguard training. Learning objective, by the end of this lesson, the learner will identify communication patterns that increase re-traumatization risk and apply safer communication approaches. In one sentence, communication that reduces re-traumatization, a core trauma-informed practice applied in everyday interaction. So again, this should map to your documents that you're using for the new 5.8 SIL practice standards, or 0138, whichever you're calling it. And if you don't have those documents, let us know. But these are the courses, these are the modules, these are the lessons that we've mapped to the documents that we provide. So why this lesson matters, poor practice, better practice, red flags, can do, must do, escalate when, and another scenario. So all of these have the same type of learning, the same type of PDF. It's designed to impart the knowledge quickly and efficiently so that your staff can be up and trained on the knowledge, at least very quickly. It's then designed to provide all the operational documents that you need to observe worker evidence that they can do the job. So again, we've got supported decision-making foundation. We've got a refresher. So some of these things are meant to go on a refresher. You're meant to have your staff roll through them every X number of months. De-escalation techniques. You can see here scenarios, workplace observation preparation, understanding distress in SIL homes, early warning signs. And then you've got an assessment, which is the de-escalation techniques. I'll just open one of those to show you the, I'm not going to answer it correctly, but which statement best reflects correct de-escalation practice in SIL? Could be that one. Next. When early warning signs appear, what is the most appropriate? I'm not choosing any of these for any reason. I'm just showing you how they work. Which is the most appropriate first step before using verbal de-escalation? Which option best reflects effective verbal de-escalation when a participant is distressed? Obviously, I'm going to fail this, but I'll just click a few more to get to the end. You get the idea. And then at the end, once I've answered all my questions, return to the schedule, submit. Are you sure you want to submit? Yes. Sorry, you failed. You only got a 33%. So that's not good enough, obviously. People need to get an 80%, and that's fair. So at the end of all of these, on the left-hand side here, you can see trauma-informed practice, safeguarding and shared living, person-centered, cultural safety, housemate matching, emergency planning. It's a good, solid map to the practice standards, SIL course for your workers. It's workplace training, and then you have to do the observation checklist. Yeah. So again, back to the observation checklist. You've got the worker pack, so the observation evidence pack, which will give you all of the things that you need. You've got, workplace observation evidence pack index, the pathway guide, the CO1 observation checklist, CO2, DO1. So these are the ones that you have to have that makes sense to have for the standards, FO2, FO3, and then you've got a sign-off summary and a coaching and reassessment plan. So it's a good solid system. It's built on a very robust platform to deliver this type of training, Learn Worlds. We've used it for years. If you've got any questions, reach out. But back to the course page. So basically, it's $35 per worker for teams of 10. It's pretty easy. Add to cart. You can see the cart on the right-hand side here. I've put a couple of extra things in here, like case notes, training for support workers, and I've clocked up 21 seats for the SIL. You can see it automatically does the discounting there from the $99 down to the $35. You can view your cart whenever you need to. You can adjust. You can add stuff. You can basically do whatever you need. It's a very robust system to implement training for your workers today.